Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Idahoan Show. I was recently asked if I would do a review of the Go-Gage Tactical magazine followers. Now, when I've posted gun reviews in the past, it's always been of a gun that I'd owned for many years and put many thousands of rounds through, so that I could do more of an experience-based review and talk about some of the things that might come up further down the road, things that I would have liked to know when I picked up the gun in the first place, but that probably wouldn't come out in a, buy it and try it kind of review where someone's reviewing a brand new product. However, I don't think that the good folks at Go-Gage Tactical are going to want to wait 5 years for me to get around to posting a review of their product. So this is going to be kind of an exception where I am taking a look at a brand new product and we're going to try and put it through its paces and see what happens. Now, they give you a list of, specific makes and models of shotguns that, these have been tested with and that they're designed to work with. The only shotgun I currently have in good working order that I think might work with this is this old Winchester Model 12, which is actually not on the list. So it's going to be a little bit of an experiment to find out if these things will even work in this particular gun. However, given as it's been a while since I've really put many rounds through this gun, and it's kind of an older firearm, I think the first thing we probably need to do is go run a box of shells through this as is and just get a baseline for reliability, because I'd hate to go put the new follower in it and then get a bunch of feeding malfunctions and blame it on the follower when the gun was actually doing that to begin with. Well, that went reasonably well. Didn't have any failures to feed per se in a 25-shot string. I did have a couple of shots, and one in particular where the action was rather difficult to open. I'm not sure if that was just a cartridge that for some reason was sticking in the chamber and was difficult to extract or what. But for what it's worth, the magazine does seem to be feeding reliably in its original configuration. So now, let's see if it is possible to install one of the Go-Gage Tactical followers in a Winchester Model 12. Now, they sent me both models of their follower, the one that's just plastic and the one that has LEDs inside of it. So for starters, let's just put the straight plastic one in, and if we can get that one in, then we'll do some shooting with that, and then if that works out okay, we'll upgrade to the lighted version. Okay, so we've run into a bit of a problem. Here's the Winchester Model 12 original follower, and here's one of the Go-Gage Tactical followers. Now, the Winchester follower has this flange on the back that is what stops the magazine follower at the end of its travel. The Go-Gage Tactical follower doesn't have a flange like that. Its diameter is about the same as the diameter of that flange, and so if I just put it in the shotgun tube, it's going to stop about that far short of feeding the last shell into the chamber. And obviously that would be a problem. Now I could put this on the lathe and turn it down a little bit so that it would be this diameter, but then it doesn't have a flange to stop it, so then it would just feed right on into the chamber and cause a malfunction. So I think I can still get this to work, but I'm going to have to make an adapter sleeve that sort of resembles this, but that this will fit inside of, and that will have a flange further back so that this can feed all the way to the end of the magazine. Okay, so after turning down the outside diameter of the follower a little bit and then machining an adapter sleeve, I have successfully installed the Go-Gage Tactical magazine follower in my Winchester Model 12 here. This is just the plastic one, but I wanted to see if this one will actually work with all of my modifications before I start machining on the illuminated one. So let's go try out this one. Okay, well, the camera stopped recording after a couple of shots there due to technical issues, but I did fire a full string of 25 shots, didn't have any malfunctions, so we're going to go ahead and test the illuminated follower next. It looks pretty much like the plastic one, but if I smack it on something, you can see it starts blinking red. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. It's maybe not real bright, but anyway, so I presume that inside of here is a battery, some LEDs, an accelerometer, and a microcontroller. And so when it detects a significant spike from the accelerometer, it activates the LEDs in a blinking sequence to alert you that you fired the last round in the magazine. I suspect that this will actually activate for every shot from the recoil of the gun. But if you've got rounds still in the magazine tube, you probably won't be able to see the flashing light. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn this down a little so I can install it in the shotgun, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so I put another 25 rounds downrange with my Winchester Model 12, this time with the illuminated follower installed. Once again, no feeding malfunctions, so the follower does seem to be working as such, even with all of my modifications. Shooting outdoors in full sunlight, I really didn't notice the follower illuminating. In fact, I had to get my head pretty close to the action to even tell that it was blinking. So it really isn't much of an aid to reloading in full sunshine, but that's not really what it's designed for. It's intended to be a reloading aid in low light conditions. And I could see where in low light conditions having that blinking light in the chamber of your shotgun might help to alert you to the presence of an empty magazine and get a shell into the magazine quicker. Another scenario where I can imagine something like this being useful would be, say you've got a homeowner who keeps an unloaded 12-gauge pump-action shotgun leaning in the corner of his bedroom for home defense purposes. I'm not saying that that's the best or even a good approach to home defense, but I know of plenty of people who basically take that approach. So, anyway, let's say the homeowner is awakened in the middle of the night by the sound of somebody breaking into his house, and so he rolls out of bed, grabs his shotgun, is fumbling to get some shells into the magazine, and in his attempt to load it, he happens to drop the shotgun. Well, dropping it simulates the impact of recoil and causes the follower to light up, which in a dark room is going to help him pick up the shotgun and get a shell into the magazine probably quite a bit quicker. So he'd have a better chance of being ready when and if the burglar actually bursts into the bedroom. So, overall, what do I think of the Go-Gage Tactical followers? Well, based on this initial round of testing, they seem to work pretty well. Of course, I had to do some creative machining in order to install them in my Winchester Model 12, but I imagine that if you have one of the shotguns that they're actually designed to work with, that wouldn't be so much of an issue. I think the concept of an illuminated follower is an interesting idea, and I think it's a very forward-looking product. I think we're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing in the future. You know, over the past few decades, we've already seen an increasing integration of electronics into optics and sighting systems, and I think this may be sort of the tip of the iceberg of starting to see more and more electronics integrated into other parts of guns as well. You know, how long is it going to be before handgun manufacturers are molding LEDs into the magazine well of polymer, pistols, so that you have an illuminated magazine well? You drop your magazine and you can see the well lit up to help you get the next magazine in more quickly. You know, that would be a very straightforward adaptation of this same kind of idea. You know, further down the road, it may not be that many years before every, magazine that you have for your handgun has sensors and a short-range transmitter, so that when you put on your Wi-Fi enabled shooting glasses, you get a heads-up display showing you how many rounds are left in your magazine. Who knows where this is all going. But in any case, until next time, thank you for watching The Idahoan Show.